Good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time you're watching this. Today you're going to have an assignment and you're going to be looking at proportional relationships. And this is something that you did last year, but I want to go ahead and just review a little bit before for you so that in case you forgot or you need a little extra help. So when I'm looking at a relationship and I'm trying to determine if this relationship is proportional, what I am looking for is to see are my fractions equal to each other. So an example of some fractions that are proportional are 1/2, 2/4, 4/8. Those are all proportional, okay, because they all equal the same thing. Every one of those equals 0.5. Okay, so that is a proportional relationship. So when I have a fraction, I know that they all equal each other. So one way that I can find out if I have a table and that they ask me, well, is your table proportional? One thing I can do is I can look to see, well, do my fractions or my numbers equal each other? And it's always, do the fractions equal each other? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to determine which one of these, pounds or cost, is the y variable and which one is the x variable. Well, I can look at my graph and see that the x variable here is in pounds, so pounds is my x variable, and my cost is my y variable. These are also known as your dependent and independent variables. Okay, so in order to see if my table is proportional, one way I can do it is to take my value of y and divide it by my value of x. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is 7/3. And when I do that, that equals 2.3. Okay. So then I'm going to say, well, what about 14/6? And I'm getting these numbers here. 14 divided by 6 because I'm doing y over x. And when I do 14/6, I also get 2.3. Next, I'm going to try 21 divided by 9. So 21 divided by 9. Sure enough, that gives me 2.3. And the last one, 28 divided by 12. And that gives me 2.3. Now, the easiest way to tell if a table is proportional is when you look at your x and y values when x is 0. So I'm going to go down to say, well, when x is 0, what is my y value? And when x is 0, my y value is also 0. And that is one way I know that my relationship is proportional. If my x value is 0 and my y value is 0, I know it's proportional. I can tell that by looking at my graph, is by looking to see, does my graph go through the origin? And remember, the origin's at 0, 0. And yes, this graph goes right through the origin. So if my graph goes through the origin, passes through the origin, then I know that my relationship is proportional. Here's an example of a relationship that is non-proportional. So I'm going to look, first of all, I'm going to look to see. Well, let's see. X is games and my y values are my costs. So I'm going to put that up here, x and y. And I remember that I have to take x and divide that by y, the x value divided by the y. So I'm going to take 6 divided by 1, so that's my first ones here. 6 divided by 1. And then I'm going to, so that equals 6. Then I'm going to take 7 and divide it by 2, because it's always y divided by x. And that gives me 3.5. Well, these two do not equal each other. So I know right there that my relationship is not proportional. And I can also look at the graph and see that it does not go through the origin. It is not going through the point 0, 0. So therefore, I know that that is not a proportional relationship. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to chat with me or email me, and I'm right here waiting to help you. All right. Have a good day.